morning, everyone.
Good morning.
So today I would like to talk about what lately I've been hearing, what I've been hearing. It is the word credential. So I've been hearing this word credential a lot lately. And it might be normal to ask someone you met about their credentials, what kind of credentials they have, certifications they have. But sometimes I kind of feel that it is almost as if the credentials make the person, and it is as if one's credentials are everything. So, what are credentials? And what is it to be certified? Today, I have a story that kind of relates to this question. This is a story about a young guy, a young man, who lived in LA, who wanted to be certified as a Buddhist minister from a Japanese Buddhist temple. So the young man, he went to Japan in order to secure his certification. This was the first such foreign student at the temple in Japan. The head minister felt a little uneasy, but thought that it might work if the young man had the right spirit. And he described this right spirit as an eagerness to learn and a willingness to follow the temple routine. And at the welcoming dinner that evening, the young man asked a question that seemed strange, really strange to the head minister. "How long should I stay?" he asked. And the head minister did not quite understand what he was trying to say. So the head minister responded, "What do you mean?" The man asked again, "I want to know how long it will take to get the certification." He explained that he wanted to receive the license so that he could teach at the temple in LA. And the young man added, "I hope it won't be more than 3 weeks." And after a quiet moment, the head minister just simply said, 30 years. And the young man went into shock. He looked like a prisoner getting a long sentence at a trial. So he was so surprised and he was shocked. And the rest of the dinner was really quiet. So apparently, the young man only wanted the certification. He saw the certification as an end goal, whereas the head minister saw it as the beginning of his practice of Buddhism. So normally, we might think of certifications or credentials as a goal, whereas Buddhism sees it as a starting point. It's a starting point. And if you see those certifications as a goal, then once you receive your certification, you have reached an end point. So certifications and credentials is the result of your great efforts. But if you think of them as a goal, means that they are also an end to your effort. Buddha saw this as a problem. For instance, a driving license. So a driving license is not just a permission to drive, but also a promise to follow the rules, the traffic rules, and also to try to drive in a proper way. The certification to drive makes you responsible for driving in a way that will not endanger you and also others. So, once you get your driving license, no one stops learning to drive. Hopefully not. We all keep on practicing how to drive safe. Maybe unconsciously, we don't think that, oh, I am practicing. But unconsciously, when someone cuts through, in front of you, or if you observe a crash or whatever, you are unconsciously, you're practicing. I have to be careful. I have to drive very careful. So, in this way, receiving a driving license is not the end point, but it is the starting point to drive. Buddhism sees any kind of certifications or credentials in general we receive as a promise to yourself to continue to work on something, to study harder, or to keep on practicing. And this is also same as me, as a certified minister. So my certification as a minister is not my end, but it is the starting point, it's the start line of the whole process of my ministry. So seeing certification as your goal will prevent you from improving and developing further. So when we could understand this, we'll see that certifications are only a piece of paper. So the Dharma, the Buddha's teaching, teaches us that we must practice to be mindful of how goals should never be our goal, and how certificate is not a permission to stop learning or stop practicing. It is the start, always the start. And it must be lifelong. So it is a start line, actually without a goal. This idea of being mindful of how we are always in a process that has no end is one of the true directions that Amida Buddha indicates to us. Please join me in Gassho. By reciting the Nembutsu, Namo Amida Butsu, we are always reminded what makes our individual lives even more meaningful. And when the Nembutsu is recited in our everyday lives, we are always reminded of the Dharma in times of need. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu.